The Muhammad Ali formula, compromise formula on federal legislature. We know that since 1947 till the Muhammad Ali Bogra became the Prime Minister of Pakistan after the removal of Nazimuddin, Pakistan lacked a constitution. Pakistan didn't have a constitution, and moreover there was not consensus between both wings on various issues. Out of them, the top of the list was the representation of both wings, that which wing will get more representation and which will get less, or which will get how many representatives in federal legislature. To resolve this issue, Muhammad Ali Bogra formulated a formula which is called Muhammad Ali Bogra formula. Second draft of BBC submitted in 1952 by the then Prime Minister Nazimuddin came under severe criticism, especially from Punjab. The report was submitted. This report, Basic Principle Committee, was submitted by Nazimuddin. This Basic Principle Committee was formulated in 1949, which submitted its second report in 1952. But this report was severely criticized by various sections of the country, and especially from Punjab. And so Muhammad Ali Bogra thought its principal task to overcome this constitutional deadlock. So he represented a formula on compromise, a formula which represents a compromise on the issue of representation between East and West wing in the federal legislature. Muhammad Ali Bogra presented his formula on 7th October 1953, and it was adopted on 6th October 1954. According to this formula, the parliament has to be a bicameral one. It means there will be two houses in parliament, upper house and lower house. Lower house was called House of People, and upper house was called House of Units. In upper house, equal representation was given, and in lower house, representation was given according to the population. House of Units, which is also upper house, comprised of 50 members. The members were distributed equally in different units as East Bengal 10, West Punjab 10, and WFP, which is now called Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and frontier states 10, Sindh and Khairpur 10, Balochistan State Union, Federal Capital Karachi, State of Bahawalpur 10. In this way, each unit get equal member representation 10 from all units. And if we will see another thing here, the west wing of the country, which is now Pakistan, had got 40 seats. West Punjab and WFP, Sindh and Balochistan State Union, and Federal Capital State of Bahawalpur, these all were present in West Wing. So West Wing got majority in House of Units, because House of Units was representing units, and the all units had to get equal number of members. In this way, West Wing had majority in upper house, but it had minority in lower house. In lower house, East Wing was given more seats, that we will discuss in next slide. The House of Units would be elected indirectly by legislature of units, and where there was no legislature, the system of election was to be determined by an act of federal legislature. It means the election of House of Units was an indirect one. That is, the provincial legislatures will elect their respective members for House of Units. And at that time there were so many areas where there was no federal legislature, like in frontier state, in Balochistan State Union, and in the federal capital as well. So those seats were to be elected by federal legislature. It means the House of People will elect the members for frontier state, for Balochistan State Union, and federal capital. So the in simple words, the election for the House of Units was to be carried out in indirect means, like nowadays we are practicing for the Senate, just like the same way the members of House of Units would have to be elected by indirect election. Apart from these two additional seats, two were reserved for women as well. The next house in the House Parliament was House of People, which was the representative of people, and seats were distributed according to the population. The total strength of House of People was 300. It was divided among 5 units as follows: as East Bengal 165, which had 54% of population. So East Bengal was given more representation in House of People, that was 165 out of 300. West Punjab 75, NWFP, which is nowadays called Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, got 13 seats. Frontier states and tribal areas 11, Sindh 19, state of Khairpur 1, Balochistan 3, Balochistan States Union 2, capital of federation, which was Karachi at that time, 4 seats. Bahawalpur state 7 seats. In this way, 300 seats were divided among various units according to their respective population. Being the highest in population, East Bengal got majority of seats, 165, and the second one was West Punjab according to the population, so it got this second highest number, and the state of Khairpur with minimum population got 1 seat. So 300 seats were divided in according to the population. If we will see on the wing basis, on eastern wing and western wing, east wing got 165 and west wing got 135 seats, become almost 135, right? So the representation in the House of People was made according to the population, and East Bengal got majority. In this way, the parity was set up between both wings. In lower house, East Bengal had majority. In upper house, West Pakistan had majority. If we will make an aggregate of upper house and lower house, both wings got 175 seats. East Bengal got 165 seats in lower house and 10 seats in upper house, and similarly in lower house, West Pakistan got 135 and 40 in upper house. So the total become 175. So East Pakistan got 175 seats and West Pakistan got 175 seats. So in this way, a parity was set between both wings. Equal powers were powers to be extended to both houses. There was provision of for a joint session of two houses for the election of the head of the state and for disposal of vote of confidence. It means both houses of the parliament, i.e. House of Units and House of People, had got equal powers in all matters. And there was also a provision for joint session of two houses. Joint session of two houses was to be called for the election of head of the state. It means for electing head of the state, both houses of the parliament can collectively elect the head of the state. And for disposal of vote of confidence, both houses were to be called. And a clue was also mentioned here that the decision was to be taken by majority of votes. However, the majority must be in such a way that from each wing 30% of the parliamentarians should vote to the if 30% from each wing will vote, it will consider as a majority. For example, if 70% of one wing vote for a bill and 30% from other side, or if 80% from one wing and 20% from the other wing were there, then this will not be considered as a majority. For being a majority, 30% from each was necessary. In case of difference of opinion between the two houses, a joint session will be called and the measure might then be passed by majority vote. Uh, if there was a difference of opinion between both houses, for example, if a bill was passed by House of Units and it was not passed by a House of by the House of People, or if a bill was passed by House of People and not by House of Units, in such a manner, when there was a case, if there was a difference of opinion between both houses, to overcome this difference of opinion, a joint session has to be called, in which the decision was to be taken by majority vote. And the same clue was set for this article as well, that majority must be in such a way that there should be 30% from each side. And another clue was also added in the Muhammad Ali formula, Muhammad Ali Bogra formula, which was removed before presenting in front of Constituent Assembly, was that if the head of the state will be from East Pakistan, then Prime Minister will be from West Pakistan and voice. But this was removed before presenting in front of Constituent Assembly. If we will see to the this formula shows a parity between both wings, which was very necessary, like equal representation from both wings. And regarding language as well, it was said that there will be two national languages of Pakistan. West wing was given more seats in House of Units, as it had more geographic units. It has almost four main geographic units, so it has got more representation in House of Units because of its most diverse nature. Whereas in East Wing, less representation was given in House of Units and more representation was given in House of People. As per as democratic rules, majority population must have majority seats. Similarly, East Pakistan, which had 54% of total Pakistan's population, was given more seats in House of People. Condition of 30% would be a hindrance in smooth working of a constitution, but it was necessary. It was really a hindrance in smooth working of constitution, because there was a check on majority, but this was necessary. It was extremely necessary because there was not not an atmosphere of consensus between both wings. To avoid domination of one wing over the other wing, it was necessary that the majority should be in such a way that 30% from each side. Political atmosphere was totally changed after independence, and especially after the death of Jinnah. If we will see the political and constitutional history of Pakistan, political atmosphere was totally changed after independence. Before independence, both wings of the country were united under the leadership of Jinnah and under the umbrella of Muslim nationhood. But after independence, so many movements from inside start developing on which were based on linguistic movements and provincial movements and regional movements. So the political atmosphere after independence totally changed, and especially after the death of Jinnah, when Jinnah died unfortunately just after a year of independence, there was no such dynamic ruler, or sorry, dynamic leader who could hold this diverse nation under a single umbrella. So there become a political chaos in the country. In such a matter, it was extremely necessary that a formula should be devised which will bring both wings of the country to a compromise. Considering all these points, we can conclude that the formula by Muhammad Ali Bogra was much better than two reports of BPC, which we have discussed already. So